law of cosines worksheet. So let's get through this. Now remember, I will give you two formulas for law of cosines. This is from my IB class. So you have a cosine where this is easiest to find the side. If you're missing a side, this is the easiest way to find it. If you're missing an angle, it's just rewritten. All they did was solve for cosine c. So like subtracted a squared, subtracted b squared, divided by -2, which flips all the signs. So we get this. That's the easiest way to find the angle. So I'll use this when you need to find angles. It's easier because I do give you the formulas, and I'll use this to find the side if you need it, which is just easier for finding the side. For each measurement, round your answers to this degree. I can talk sometimes. Find AB. So we want to find AB. So general idea, right, is law of sines is when you have pairs. Like you have an angle in its side, like a big A and little a. Law of cosines, no pairs. So if you look right here, I want to find AB. I have no pairs. I don't have angle A, but I have side A. I have angle C, but no side C. And I have side B, but no angle B. So when you have no pairs, law of cosines is the way to go. And we're looking for a side, so we'll use this formula. Now, my trick is I make whatever I want. I don't change the formula around. Just whatever I'm looking for, I just make it B squared in my head. C squared, sorry, in my head. So in this case, it works out perfectly. That is my C. So that's my C. Here's my capital C. That's side A and side B, even though those two really don't matter. It's all about C. So 29 squared plus 13 squared minus 2, 29, 13 cosine C. So the trick here is just plug that all into your calculator. Make sure you're in degrees because we're using degrees. I reset my calculator, so I gotta go back to degrees. And I'm just gonna sub it all in the start calculator. Just plug it all in. 29 squared plus 13 squared. It's one of the few times I'm going to show you the calculator. I'll just kind of skip it. You know what I'm doing. 2 times 29 times 13 times cosine 41. A lot of times people forget the cosine part. I don't understand. Or they'll do it separate. They do just the numbers, then they'll come back and do cosine. Like, that's wrong. Just plug it all in there. C squared equals 440.94897. Now I'm not done yet. That's why I didn't round it yet, because I still got to find what C is. I got to square root this. So second square root. Now you can either go up there and select it, or you can press answer. So second answer. Either way it works. And I get 20.9998. The alternative is 10, so it'll be 21. So that's the length of the side. I guess side AB, not C, but same difference. So there you go. Next one, similar idea, BC. So they want us to find this. Now again, for me, the key is just use the formula the way it is, and whatever you're looking for is your C. That's all it is. Ignore the letters they give you. Who cares? This is my C, which makes this C. A and B don't even matter. So my angles would be 123. These two things would be A and B. So it's going to be C squared equals 30 squared plus 21 squared minus 2 times 30, 21 cosine of 123. Right? And when you got one formula, that's given, so just make the use of it. Whatever you're looking for is your C. So in this case, I'm looking for this. That's my C. It's the side opposite. Just plug it in. I'm going to plug this all into our calculator, and we get C squared equals 2027.245. Again, I'll spare you the time of me typing it in. But just know I plug in my calculator. And then we square root both sides, and you get C is roughly about 45. Again, it's not really C, it's BC, but you get the gist. So that's how we do it. Next one, find measure of angle A. So again, you could use either formula. Since I give you both formulas, it's probably easier to use the other formula, which is cosine of C equals A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. Again, if you want, you can use the other formula and solve for cosine C, but I do give you both, so this is a little easier. So I want measure of angle A. So again, whatever I'm looking for is my C. So in this case, I know I want to find, right? So remember, this formula is all about solving for C. So, but in this case, I want to solve for A. So the key here is this: if you make this A, that goes A also, and that's it. Everything else is, there's the other sides. Only thing that matters, only thing that's different is the thing you're looking for. Everything else is whatever. So I have that. So if I was putting this in, it would be cosine of A equals so remember, that's what I'm looking for. That goes with this. So this is going to be 14. These two, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's other two sides, so 9 and 6. So 9 squared plus 6 squared minus 14 squared over 2 times 9 times 6. We're just going to plug all that into our calculator. Now, this one I actually will do because it looks a little funkier. Easiest way to do fractions on a calculator is press alpha y equals. It gives you the fraction bar. And if your calculator is updated, so you can put 9 squared. If your calculator is not updated, parentheses is your friend. I'll probably do one right at this with just parentheses. And then divided by 2 times 9 times 6. And I get negative 79 over 108. Now I still got to solve for cosine. I'm going to solve for A, so I got to do cosine inverse to get rid of the cosine. So arc cosine both sides. So second cosine. And I can either select or press enter. I get about 137. I think there's 10th they wanted, so 137 degrees. So there you go. But if you don't have the fancy way to do it, how do you do this? Just parentheses are your friend. So you do like 9 squared plus 6 squared minus 14 squared. Close that parenthesis, then divide. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Divide parentheses again, 2 times 9 times 6. Right, so if you don't have the updated calculator, you do that, and then if you do second cosine of this, we should get the exact same answer. And we do. So that's how you do it. Next one, again, same idea. I'm using the exact same formula. They want me to find A again, so here's my A. So this is going to be my C in the formula. So it's going to be cosine of A equals, right? A and B are just the other two sides. Doesn't matter which one comes first. And the thing you're looking for over 2 times the other two sides. Again, I'll share you guys me just typing in this into my calculator to get you the answer. Which this is cosine of A equals 310 over 374. Then cosine inverse both sides. And then C equals about 34 degrees. Actually, wait, why did I put C? A. There we go. Again, when you do this formula, C is what you're looking for. So in this case, I'm looking for A. I just make that A, and then the only thing you change is what is C? This guy. That's your A. The other two sides don't matter. Letters are just symbols. It's not a big deal. This one, find measure of angle C. So we want to find this measurement. Now here's the thing. Look at what I have here. So I have side C. No, I have angle C. I have no pairs still. So I gotta do log cosines. I'll write the formula down here. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of C. Now, it's cosine C, but the angle I have is B. So just kind of like when we did the other one. You can only use what angle you have. So if this is my angle B, that makes this what I'm looking for. So it's going to be B squared equals cosine of 101. And then all this is are the other two sides. So 29, 24. All it is. Minus 229 times 24. We're going to type that all into the calculator. Again, I'll spare you me actually doing that. And we get 1682.606 square root equals roughly 41. So there's about 41. That wasn't the question though. The question wasn't find side B, but that's the only thing I could find with log cosines was this side that was missing. So how do I find measure of angle C? Well, look it. We have a pair now, right? We have the B's, so I can do law of sines. Right, so I could do 41 over sine of 101 equals, looking for angle C. C equals to 24, so 24 over sine of C. And always solve this to do cross multiply. from our last lesson. So 24 sine of 101. And then divide by 41. So sine of c is equal to 24 sine of 101 over 41. And all we do now is sine inverse. Remember, if you don't have a calculator, just leave it like this. That's fine. Shows me that you know what you're doing. Sine inverse of that would get me 35.1. And there we go. So I had to do log cosines first, and then I was able to do log sines. So I do log cosines, right, to find the missing side. Then I can do log sines. Next one, I just want to know what method would you use. So you don't have to solve anything, I just want to know what method. So look at this one. Do you have a pair? Basically, do you have a pair or not? I have a pair. I have a pair of B. So this would be log sines. Log sines. That was going to bug me if I didn't write it. Next one, no pairs. Log cosines. Remember, that's the way you spell log sines, cosines. It's the full word, not the shortened, just sine, cosine. So there we go. The next one, look, I see no pairs at all. So another log cosines. And over here, it looks like you don't have a pair. Like I have that, I don't have that, I don't have that, and that, don't have that, and that. Looks like log cosines, but that's actually not right. It is all sines. Since you have two angles, you could easily find out what this angle is. So it'd be 180 minus 80 minus 47. So it'd be what, 53? And then it's log sines. So log cosines actually wouldn't work on that one because you don't have enough sides. So that's a log sines one. You just got to find the missing side first. So there we go. So now let's do some problems. Solve each triangle. So I always like to just draw the triangle out first. I started using tricks more. There we go. Man, that was it's such a bad triangle, they made it a rectangle. Okay, so here's my triangle. Label it any way you want to label. B is 80. B is 80. C is 80. I keep on saying B is 80, it was C. That's why I was like confused. A is 9. B is 2. So you have that. Now is it log sines or cosines? I see no pair, so it looks like it's all cosines. Now when they say solve the triangle, that means they want you to find everything that's missing. So I got to find side C, angle B, angle A. So when I say solve the triangle, solve everything that's missing. And since I have no pairs, I do log cosines. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of C. Now, in this case, we are lucky. The angle we have is C, so that does go perfectly there. And then A and B, remember, it doesn't really matter. There's other two sides, but I'll put them in proper order. That was not squared. So if I plug this in our calculator, again, I'll spare you me doing that. We get 78.7. Then you square root that, and C would equal 8.87. So that's sides 8.87. And then now I gotta find the angles. Well, now you could do log cosines if you want again, log cosines with the angle version of it. But we have a pair, so why not just do log sines? It's the easier one. So now I'm gonna do log sines since I have the C's now. So I could do 8.87 over sine of 80 equals, let's do B. Log sines only works on stuff that's less than 90. That's why I'm doing B first. So it is a good caveat to know. If you're doing log sines and it's like your angle is gonna be 120, log sines doesn't work that far. Inverse sine only goes to 90. So if you're doing log sines, always do the smallest angle first. If you're doing log cosines, you always want the largest angle first, if possible. Anyway, I plug this in. So I'm looking for a small one first. So 2 sine of B, cross multiply, 8.87 sine of B equals 2 times sine of 80 divided by 8.87. And then sine inverse to both sides. and then B is going to get you about 15 degrees, roughly. Now here's the best part. Once you solve that one, the last one's the easiest problem there is, because you already have two angles. So this is like a third grade math problem here. If you want to find the missing angle, just do 180 minus the two things you have. So it should give me about 85 degrees. And there you go. You solved everything. Let's do the next one. So same idea. I gotta solve the triangle. There we go. Let's make it a little. Let's make it a little bigger, but there we go. So F, G, H. So all I'm giving is sides. So side F is 10, side G is 11, and side H is 4. Right? No degree signs. All you're giving is sides. So when you do log cosines, you're just giving a blank canvas, because remember we have the solid triangle, we got to find all the missing angles. You always want to solve the biggest side first. That's because when you do law of sines doesn't work on obtuse triangles. It only works on acute triangles and right triangles. So, or I should say obtuse angles. It doesn't work on obtuse angles. So we try to help ourselves by solving for the biggest side first. So write law of cosines formula. Cosine of C. Now remember, what are we looking for is kind of your C. So we're looking for, we're going to solve for G here. So this will be like, this will be G, this will be our 11. Right? So whatever angle you're looking for is what correlates to the one right here. So my side's 11, and that's angle G. A and B are the other two sides. The order does not matter. So it doesn't matter how you put it. So 11 squared equals, and I'm looking for an angle. What am I doing? I should be using another formula. Again, you could use this formula, but I'm here. Let's just use this formula just to show how it works. So 11 squared equals 4 squared plus 10 squared minus 2, 4 times 10 cosine of G. Again, I should have used the angle form, but since we're here already, I'll just solve it this way. And I'll talk about some mistakes a lot of people make. So this is 121. This is 16. That's 100. So 116 minus 4080 cosine of G. Okay, so a big mistake people make is they subtract these two. They do like 116 minus 180, so they do like 36, and then they'll like go on from there. That is wrong. This has a variable in it. There's a cosine there. You can't just subtract the numbers. So what I do from here is I subtract 116 from both sides. So you get 5 equals negative 80 cosine G. Right? That's proper mathematics. This has a variable. Cannot combine it with a straight out constant. So you move it over, and then you have this, and then we divide by negative 80. So I get negative 5 over 80 equals cosine of G. Cosine inverse both sides. So I actually don't have this saved, so with my calculator, because I went the opposite way I was supposed to go. So inverse cosine of negative 5. Now notice I put negative, I never use subtraction, I use the negative sign. Divided by 80. And I get 93.58. So G is roughly, let's say 93.6 degrees. So there's that angle. And now again, I gotta solve the whole triangle, gotta find anything else that's missing. So next, you can do law of cosines if you want again. No, generally most people don't like to do that. We'll do law of sines now. And then when I do law of sines, I always like to use a smaller angle. So I'm gonna do law of sines with these two. So I have my pair. I have 11 over sine of 93.6 equals 4 over sine of H. Cross multiply. I get 411 sine of H equals 4 times sine of 93.6 divided by 11, and I get sine of H equals some decimal, about 0.3627, inverse sine both sides, and you get H is approximately 21.269. We'll just say 21.3. Right, and then once you have those two, I'm gonna put it in before I forget. Find the last one's always the easiest thing. Find this guy, right? Just 180 minus those two. So if I want angle F, it's be 180 minus 93.6 minus 21.3. Let's use our calculator so I don't mess up. So 180 minus 93.6 minus 21.3. 65.1 degrees. It should all be degrees. So there we go. So that's how you solve a triangle. In this case specifically, I had to do law of cosines first. And when you're doing law of cosines, if you have a chance, if you just solve a triangle, do the biggest side first. If they tell you what side to solve, then just do that. But if you just have like, hey, I gotta solve a triangle, always do the biggest side first, because law of sines doesn't work with the obtuse angle. So you do that, get your answer, and once you do that, then you could do law of sines if you want, because you have a pair now. And then once you find your last angle, you just do 180 minus those two. Okay, let's do some application. Let's do an application one before we end this. Find the distance between the ship and the shipwreck shown in the diagram. I mentioned there's 10th. So here's a ship, here's a shipwreck. There's a little sling there. Look at this. I have no pairs, so it's law of cosines. Right, so this is what I'm looking for. If you write down, it's looking for a side right here. If you write down the formula for law of cosines, like that. Remember, the thing you're looking for is your C. So this is perfect. There's no lettering. That's my C. That's capital C, my angle C. So it's going to be C squared equals A squared B squared, these two sides. 338 minus 2 squared, 520, 338, cosine of 70 degrees. And again, notice I have every single thing in there. Just plug that all into your calculator. That big old mess with those big numbers. And if you do that, you're going to get C squared equals 2004, 6632, so 2000, I read a little early, 246,000. Square root that. And C is going to be roughly 496.6 meters. So there you go. That's how far down it is, the nearest 10th. Little spiral review to end this off again. Find the next term in the arithmetic sequence. The arithmetic sequence is where you add the same number to each term. So if we look at this, it looks like we're adding 6 to each term. So it's got to add 6 at the end, and I get 37. Next one was a solution set for this equation. So to solve it, let's divide by 3. I get 2x plus 1 equals 9. Square root it. 2x plus 1 equals 3. Now plus and minus, I almost forgot 2 answers, so we get a square root. So 2x plus 1 equals 3. And 2x plus 1 equals negative 3. Right? So we get a square root, so negative 3. Then just solve this. Subtract 1. 2x equals 2. Divide by 2. X equals 1. Subtract 1. 2x equals negative 4. Divide by 2. X equals negative 2. So there you go. Last two, solve for x. This is easy. This side I can't do anything. Just rewrite it. This side could combine like terms. So I'm actually get negative x plus 5. And remember, we want the variables on one side and we want the numbers on the other side. So let's add x to both sides and add 5 to both sides. Just so we could get the variables on one side and numbers on the other side. All the variables over here. Cancel out. I get 5x equals 10. And divide by 5. Did the math in my head too fast. X equals 2. There we go. This one, how many real zeros does the polynomial function in the graph have? Remember, real zeros is another way of saying just x intercepts. So this has 2. And that's it.